Hi, everyone. Welcome. So 10 years ago, my husband and I were married at the Athenaeum over here. And just a month later, gravitational waves were detected. I'm not saying these are connected by any means, but the universe has impeccable timing. A decade ago, we were looking at the universe through a window. Then suddenly, violently, all at once, we heard it through the walls. Not loudly, not clearly. And a lot of people didn't believe it, but unmistakably, the universe was speaking. And that moment, it didn't just change science. It didn't just update our textbooks. It changed us as humans floating on this island we call Earth. And for me, it reminded me that humanity has something significant to gain when we dare to ask impossible questions and then hope and listen for the faintest whisper of an answer. Now, it's no secret that scientific exploration is currently facing budget cuts. But I want to remind you all of something that no line item can measure, and that's the courage to listen before you know what you'll hear. You didn't build these detectors because you were certain of the outcome. You built them because you believed that discovery itself was worth the risk. Progress has never come from playing it safe, and it comes from reaching beyond what seems reasonable. That's the same spirit that put us on the moon, that transformed orchards into the beating heart that is Silicon Valley, and that built the internet that connected a planet. In fact, now, every major technology we rely on, GPS, MRIs, lasers, computers, began as wild, abstract visions in the mind of an engineer or a scientist who was asked, "Why does this matter?" But it did matter. It does matter, and it will always matter. When asked why someone should build tools to measure 1/10,000th the width of a proton, the answer is simple, because that's how technological revolutions begin. Those same techniques are reshaping medicine, manufacturing, even quantum computing. That's the story of American innovation. We plant curiosity, and we harvest the fruits for decades to come. Now, just to put it in perspective, LIGO's annual budget is smaller than what America spends on potato chips over the 4th of July weekend. And for that modest investment, we get to watch the fabric of reality itself quiver. We get to test the edges of our knowledge for cracks that could reveal whole new laws of physics. That young researcher chasing quantum noise today may enable tomorrow's quantum computers. That engineer perfecting mirror coatings may unlock the next generation of solar power. And the algorithms that are optimized to separate out signals from noise may one day save lives by detecting the earliest signs of heart disease. This is the miracle of science. It begins with awe and wonder, and it makes room for impact. It transforms the patience of a few into the progress of many. So today, we're at a crossroads. And we must ask ourselves, do we still believe in asking bold questions? Do we have the courage to support those who seek the answers? And tomorrow, you'll decide whether the world keeps hearing. Through your papers, your conversations, your willingness to explain to the rest of the world why it matters. Because it's not a luxury. It's how we've always secured our future. Because if we stop listening, the silence just doesn't fall on our instruments, it falls on our imaginations. So with that, I would love to welcome Thomas F. Rosenbaum, President of Caltech.
Welcome to all. I understand at the break we will be serving potato chips. 10 years ago was one of the most thrilling times in my, and I know many of your scientific careers, with the first detection of gravitational waves. And 10 years later, LIGO is an astronomical observatory. How far we've come. Stephen Hawking characterized the challenge in the following way. So Einstein was wrong when he said God does not play dice. Consideration of black holes suggests not only that God does play dice, but that he sometimes confuses us by throwing them where they can't be seen. Black holes still may not be seen, but now they can be categorized, tested, and explored. This is, of course, the culmination of a many decades-long global effort to build the most sensitive instrument in the world, develop the simulation software to understand what a detected signal could tell us about the mass and spin and horizons of the emerging black holes, and above all, the vision and the faith to persevere. It is a reflection of what the government can do with persistence and long-term commitment to think big and seize transformative opportunities. But most of all, it is the people, from Walter Massey to Franz Cordova at NSF, in LIGO, the generations of investigators who overcame incredible challenges as a team, and if I may say, to Caltech, for seeding the regional concept in response to Kip's convictions and eloquence. One of my favorite moments was in Stockholm, where Kip and Barry were generous enough to invite Kathy and myself, and many of you were there, at the dinner that was held before the formal dinner. And there, of course, there was a spokesperson for each generation of LIGO investigators. You saw the continuity of the process, you saw the connections, you were palpably seized by what it takes to accomplish something on this scale. At that dinner, I quoted Pablo Picasso. There are painters who transform the sun to a yellow spot, but there are others who, with the help of their art and their intelligence, transform a yellow spot into the sun. Today, the sun is shining very brightly.